So it's not, this particular one wasn't as problematic from our perspective as the Southeast Meadowlark one. I mean, there are aspects of it that don't, or aren't consistent with the direction being provided by the minister through the policy manual. I mean, there are some general references here to having new multifamily fit in with existing less intensive uses, which we understand to be references to single detached neighborhoods, which again is not something that we should have multifamily focusing on. There's other guidelines that kind of hit concerns raised in the policy manual. So, you know, the building massing should be considered uses on adjacent properties. Well, if we're talking about single detached, that's really problematic in the context of multifamily. Impacts of shadows, you know, be minimized again. So you're prioritizing the rights of existing development over the new development, which again makes encouraging multifamily difficult. Block rating, views, etc. Sorry, I'm just going to skip over some of this stuff because of time. So this is just a generic example that I pulled off of a news site that was speaking about small-scale multifamily housing. And I thought it would be beneficial to put up here because it just shows that with guidelines that are attempting to have multifamily fit within an existing single-detached neighborhood, that can be really problematic because you can see here on either side of this 4-unit development are 2 low-slung single-family homes, and if you're trying to get that multifamily to fit with those, you're basically ruling out, you know, 2 or 3 or 4-unit developments, right? You can also see here the reduced setbacks, which we'll touch on in the subsequent slide to the front, very small, and the whole landscaping issue. I mean, there's really not much land left after one of these units goes in for landscaping, especially in comparison to the single-detached homes on either side of them, which have expansive big yards and spaces for planting. So I thought this was a really powerful visual in terms of, you know, how it's very difficult for multi-unit to fit within an existing single-detached, and we shouldn't be trying to make them fit within that existing development form, but they really are their own separate new form, and we need to be trying to encourage that. So, yeah, I touched on that. So options for the multifamily. So we do feel that it can be tweaked. It doesn't need to be abandoned like Southeast Meadowlark. We strongly feel that it should only be applied to 7 units or more, in line with the policy manual, and that council might also want to think about if the direction is to provide. Sorry, if the direction is to have it only applied to 7 or more units, the footprint on the map schedule should be reduced to multifamily zones. And we can certainly do that as part of any update. Other options would be, as with Southeast Meadowlark, to repeal the multifamily EP in its entirety, or the status quo where there's no change at all. And I think if we got direction on option 1, we would come back to council with a revised EP area for your consideration before
I think that makes sense. Okay. Ready? Go ahead.
Mixed use commercial, again, a lot of the same issues. I'm not going to touch on them again. I'll just jump straight to options. So very similar to multifamily, we think it can be tweaked. We can look at the guidelines that relate to housing, address those in relation to the policy manual, bring them back to council for consideration, and get direction from you on that point. But as with the other ones, obviously the option to repeal is available to you, as is the option for status quo, no change. Keep going. I think these might be the last 2. Protection of the environment. So we're not really proposing any changes here. Council is required under the Riparian Protection Act to have riparian protections in place, so there's really not much we can do with those. So again, the options revision, bring those back, or status quo. And I think I said for EP designations.
Well, that was a lot.
Yes.
So we do have a recommendation here on 3 of the issues that you mentioned, and the Southeast Meadowlark policies, and the multi-family mixed use, and the map separating the environmentally sensitive and riparian. So, council, what is your option here? Go ahead.
I move option 1.
Okay, that had all those 3 things in it. Okay, is there a seconder? Councilor Bennett. All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, so next.